So this is a Sterling Eccles Amber. I'm going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Front of the van, you've got your hitch, jockey wheel and handbrake. This is all stuff we'll go through in person here on site. Front of the van, you've got your gas regulator and your gas bottle. Gas shut-off valve on top of the bottle and a yellow shut-off valve just past the regulator, so you can isolate the gas going into the van itself. Water pump connection very simply pushes into the side of the van, as you can see here, and locks in place. You've then got your leg winder underneath, and you've got one of those on each side of the van. Water pump drops into the aqua roll, as you can see. When you're igniting the gas systems on board the van, you do need to make sure this cover is removed, so you take the cover off in a more graceful way than I've just done it, but gives you the same idea. So cover off before you ignite anything on gas. The motor mover and wheel nuts, we'll take you through the motor mover while you're here on site, and we'll torque the wheel nuts to the manufacturer's recommended setting before you take the van away. Fridge vents essentially let out the hot air at the back of the fridge unit, and on this side here you've got a gas flue for the gas operation of the fridge. The fresh water that goes in the front of the van has to come out somewhere, so down the side of the van here you'll have two bits of grey pipe that will push into the side of the van, and they'll drop down inside the waste master itself. You've then got a storage locker on the back of the van on this side also. On the back of the van on either side you've got a wind down leg to stabilise the caravan while the caravan's in use. You'd never lift the caravan with these legs, they are just there for stabilising it while it's in use. On the back of the van on the door side you've got the toilet flush cassette, and that would take 3.5 litres of water and a cap full of the pink fluid. Below that you have the actual toilet locker itself, toilet waste locker should I say. Pull the yellow handle up at the bottom and pull the cassette towards you. The neck here turns out so the waste can be tipped away, and you've got a yellow pressure relief button on the back of that cassette also, so when you are tipping the waste away, the waste doesn't spit and sputter back at you. Battery locker with quick release battery terminals on top of the battery, and your mains power lead coming into the van, and behind there there's also a... So as you can see, we're now on the inside of the caravan. In the cupboard, as you come in the door on the left hand side below the wardrobe, you've got the main power switches for the caravan. So as you can see here, you've got car and van. So essentially when you connect it to the car, you'll need to have this switch up to the top, because what that'll allow the car to do is charge the battery on board the caravan for you. When you're on site and you want power coming to the caravan, you need to make sure you're on van. You've got your battery charger at the bottom here, you need to leave on at all times. Space heater, you can leave that on at all times, because then as soon as you need the heating, it'll be ready to come on. And then the water heater is on this bottom right hand side, and you'd only have that on when you've got water in the system. So as you can see, because it is on, we have got water in the system already, and the water system is completely filled. Down the bottom here you've got your household style trip switches, and then you've got your 12 volt fuses coming down this side for any 12 volt appliances on board the van. And in the book, or the book pack for the caravan, you'll actually find what each of these fuses is for. So that is as simple as it gets on the control panel itself for the caravan. There is another control panel above the door which allows you to turn on the power for the lighting etc. inside the van, your internal lights, your water pump and your 12 volt battery level on the right hand side here. To fill the water system on board this particular caravan, first of all you're going to come underneath the seat on the front right hand side, or underneath the front seat on the right hand side underneath the seat. You will find a yellow drain down valve, which is just there in the video. The yellow drain down valve will need to be parallel with the floor so you can fill the water system up. If you wanted to drain the water system, you'd need to make sure that valve is pointing upright towards the bottom of the seat. But like I said, to fill the system, it is parallel with the floor, and then you'd come over to each tap on the caravan, open them all up on the hot side of the water system. You'll actually notice I've already done that on this particular van. You'll turn the pump on, and as the water system's filling up, there we go, as it's filling up, you'll notice it starts putting water out. Now when that water's running continuously out of every tap on the caravan, you'll shut each tap off at that point. So you'd have the kitchen tap open, the bathroom tap and the shower tap to bleed the water system, like I said. And once all them taps are open, you'll come over to the control panel above the door and turn on the water pump. Once that water pump's turned on, the water system will start filling, and then as it fills up completely, you'll have water coming out of every tap as you've just seen. At that point, you can start thinking about warming the water. Now, as you saw, we've already got the electric water heating on. However, you can also warm the water on gas. So just over by the door, you'll see you've got two control panels here. I'm just going to shut the door over so the light doesn't come in. So to warm the water on gas, it's very simple to do. You'll get the grey dial here on the outside. You'll spin it around to the gas symbol. And once it ignites, you'll have a green light appear in this window just here. Or just behind this glass window, or the plastic window just here. Once it's ignited, you control the water temperature between 30 and 70 degrees of water temperature on the dial at the front. You would actually use this for boosting the water system when you're showering on board the van also. Even if you've got the electric on, you'd still need to use the gas for boosting. You'll notice at the moment a red light has appeared. The only reason for that is that the gas bottle in the front of the van is actually turned off at the moment. So there's no gas coming through to the components inside. But like I said, green light means it has ignited, red light means it's failed, and then you've got the temperature control for the water on gas on the dial in the centre. The next thing you're probably going to do is get the heating on if it's a cold day like it is today, so the van is nice and warm. On the dial down the bottom here, you have this grey dial on the outside here, with an off position, 500 watts, 1000 and 2000 watts coming into the caravan. So for instance, if you're on a site with 500 watts of power available, you'll spin this grey dial to the 500 watts as it is now, and then you'll be able to control the temperature of the heater on the dial in the centre. The higher you go, so obviously up to 9, that'll be the warmest setting for the electric heating on board the van. Now obviously if you're running on 2000 watts, the heating will be a lot more efficient than it will be on the 500 watts. If you don't want to use electric and you're going off grid, you can actually heat the heating on board the van with gas also. So you can spin the dial around on top to between 10 and 9, hold down the gas valve, and when it ignites, you'll get a pilot light in the window at the front here. Like I said, once it's ignited, you can then slowly release the gas valve on top of the heater after 5 to 10 seconds, and it'll keep the heating system lit. To control the temperature, once it has ignited, you've got the dial on top here between 1 and 9 on top, 1 and 10, sorry, on top. The higher you go, obviously, with the number, the hotter the heating will be on gas. On the left-hand side of the heater, you've actually got this fan speed dial, a bit like you've got in your car for the blown air heating. The dot in the centre indicates the heat's going to come out the front of the heater. And if you want blown air heating, so the heat comes out the vents around the caravan, you have a wave symbol on the left-hand side. On the opposite side, you have this A. That's continuous blown air. The A is essentially a thermostatic blown air, so it cuts in and out with the thermostat on board the van. Again, you can control the fan speed for that on top. Let me go to the fridge next. Fridge, fairly self-explanatory. If you want to use the fridge on gas, you'll spin the dial to the gas option just here at the top. Off is obviously here at the top. Then you'll put into the right-hand position, which will allow it to ignite on gas. And you can control the temperature on gas on the dial on the right-hand side. If you want to use 230 volt or 240 volt, you can spin the dial to the central line here, and the green light will appear to say the fridge is working on 240 volt. You also then got the option of 12 volt down the bottom here. So if you're towing down the road and you want to use the fridge as a cool box, you can select it onto 12 volts, and that will chill the fridge and make it work very similar to a cool box. If you're on 240 though, you can again use the temperature control on the right hand side to control the temperature of the fridge. Cooker itself has a the hob has a electric ring on top. That electric ring will only work if you're connected to 240 mains, and the rest of the cooker will work on gas. Gas controls across the front, as you'd expect to see, to control the gas supply to the caravan. The last thing we're going to go through on this particular caravan is the toilet system in the bathroom. You have an electric flush on top of the toilet. You have a full indicator light on the right hand side to indicate when the toilet waste cassette is full and that it needs emptying. And then below the toilet, on the left-hand side, you have a grey waste handle that you need to pull towards you to allow the toilet waste to go in the cassette underneath the van. The toilet seat does turn for your convenience. However, when you are removing the cassette from underneath the van, you need to make sure that toilet seat is pointing straight across towards the sink, because if you don't, it won't actually let you remove the waste cassette. There's actually 2 lockout tabs on there that prevents it from coming out while the toilet is being used. If you have any further questions on the Sterling Eccles Amber, please do give us a call here at the Caravan Company and we'll be more than happy to help. We thank you for your business and we hope you enjoy the caravan. Thank you for now. Bye bye.